Hello and welcome to Random DMs. I am your dungeon master for this session, Wayne, and these are your players. I rolled the short dice. Is that a thing? I rolled the short dice on the last session.
Well, it's a
So
D4, yeah, so I think it is the shortest of all of them.
yeah,
It's kind of short, yeah.
essentially, it's the shortest dice. So I will be running the session, and things are going to get spoopy because there's a bit of horror in this one, but I won't disturb the players too much. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. But as always, I'm going to throw it over to Declan because he knows all about the sponsor stuff, and I don't. So he can fill you in on the sponsors and the stuff, and also give them information about the D8 drive as well, please. Thank you.
I shall indeed. I hate the responsibility, but here we are. Some housekeeping before we dive into our session this evening. You are very, very welcome along to Random DMs, as Wayne pointed out. A series where the DM is always changing. It's the same story and it's the shared experience, but it's always from a different perspective. To quickly mention some friends of the show, if you are in the space of, I've got a million ideas for characters, or I've got a brand new campaign I'm working on, then we recommend you check out The Rook and the Raven. creators of some really lovely customizable notebooks that you can use to track your character's story, to plan out that next campaign arc, whatever it might be. And if you use the code D8Dungeon at checkout, then you can receive 15% off your order, and we will get a portion of those proceeds too. So there is a link in the chat. As Wayne mentioned as well, we are coming up to that time of the year where, for some inexplicable reason, I stress myself out on my summer holidays, and I stress Amber out, who doesn't get the summer holidays, but I really stress her out too. And we are finalizing plans for this year's D8 Dungeon Drive. And there is a whole weekend because I got bored and I was like, let's do another one on Friday night too. So Friday night, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday, we will be running TTRPGs fundraising for Trans Lifeline, an organization that works to support the trans community, providing services as well as outreach. So we strongly suggest you check us out the weekend of the 28th, 29th, and 30th of July. There's going to be some familiar faces. From this stream, there'll be 3 very familiar faces. As we will, I think we've flexed enough of our player skills and our DM skills now that we're going to be running games ourselves. And there will be a very, very special episode of Random DMs on the Friday night. I'm using that word heavily because we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Do we ever?
It's random.
That's the point.
It's random.
That's the point. We don't
That's,
never
yeah,
know.
that's true.
We
It's
just know
random.
it's going to be interesting.
Yes, it's going to be special and interesting. And if you are about, and if you have a little bit of change to spare, then we would love if you could donate, as it is a TTRPG fundraiser that we're doing, and all proceeds go directly to Trans Lifeline. So we have a goal this year of $2,000. We would love to smash that. Like that's we've done that before. We can do that again, and that would be phenomenal. Then this year we said we would set a weird milestone that at $3,000. Amber and I, so we're the 2 coordinators for the event, will get matching tattoos that donators get to vote on what that tattoo is. And if you love me, you'll pick Flicky because Amber does not want a Flicky tattoo, and I think it would be hilarious to make Amber have a Flicky tattoo.
Did you say what, a Flicky tattoo?
Flicky the Kobold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A Flicky tattoo. So I mean, really, that's a gift you're giving me. If you want to, and that's at $3,000. If we reach $5,000, we are going to get them as lower back tattoos. So yeah.
I know. If it's an option, I know what I'm going to be voting for. If Love Hurts is an option,
Love Hurts. Yeah, Love Hurts is an option. Yeah. Please don't. Like, there's a little part of me that's going to be really upset if I don't think my husband's going to appreciate that lower back tattoo. So yeah, we're worried. We're worried.
I think you've set it too low.
Yeah.
I think we can easily meet that, right?
Did I say $5,000?
I
meant 50.
there's. I'm just going to be promoting the absolute bejesus out of this. On my
Can I ask for honest to God, if it's set so low and it does happen, I think no regrets also has to be a tramp stamp.
Well,
as
you
well.
see, that's a tattoo that Nate has. Nate has a tattoo. You haven't learned this yet, but we do know that Nate has a tattoo on his armpit that says "No Rugrats." So yeah, that's a spoiler for an upcoming episode, but we do learn that there is that tattoo.
Nice.
So yeah, that's potentially nope. We picked 4 options. There's Flicky the Kobold, Love Hurts. God, I can't think. What were the other 2? They're all equally
They're
as
surprises.
upsetting. Yeah, they're surprises.
They can
and
be
if
surprises.
you donate, you get to vote. That's the best part of it. If you donate, you get to vote on it. Oh yeah, the other two actually aren't that bad, so please pick those. Although currently Flicky the Kobold does have $10, so Flicky is currently leading. Um,
Okay.
the other thing to mention in the charity stream is all over the course of that weekend, we will be running raffles. So there's no entry fee. Anyone that's watching the stream can enter, and we have been gifted some amazing prizes from TTRPG creators, dice makers, and just all around just awesome folks who really want to get behind the cause, and just as an added incentive to join the stream and keep it going and keep it active. Just by watching, just by sitting down and watching, you can enter in to win some amazing prizes over the course of the 2 days. I really, 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 really want. I've seen some of them, and there's a set of trans pride dice that were donated that are just like they're stunning. Like they're absolutely stunning. And then I also know that there is something that Grant Howitt gave to. So also, again, would love that, but no, obviously. Again, that is the weekend. Sorry, what prize? That is the week of the 29th and 30th of July, with a very special episode of Random DMs on the Friday evening. You can check us out on social media at D8 Dungeon. We will be looking for more player signups. We've done a first round of player applications, and they will get first dibs on the games that are being finalized, and we hope to have that application form up tomorrow. And once those players have been contacted over the weekend, on Monday we will make a public application form again, so that any remaining spaces, if you want to participate and you want to get involved and volunteer and play some amazing TTRPGs over that weekend, you can do. I think that's my spiel. I think I'm
awesome.
Good. I think I'm done and dusted. So I'm awesome. Gladly handing it back over to you, Wayne.
Okay, so where we left off in the last episode, the group had gone to Cragmaw Castle and, in a very weird and roundabout way, rescued Gundren, Rockseeker, from his captors, and eked out some more information from some of the baddies that were in Cragmore Castle. Gundren then asked all of the group to escort him back to Phandelver so he can recuperate and give you more information on the ongoing conspiracies and weirdness that have been happening in the town. And where we pick up is back in present day in the tavern as Oster is frying up some lunch for everyone. And the smell of kind of cooked meats and freshly brewed coffee is kind of emanating from the kitchen as the group now find themselves sitting around the long table, as Ozfire has brought out a very large diorama and is placing it in front of the group. And it's kind of, as he brings it out, it's kind of covered in a tarp. And his small halfling form kind of struggles with it a bit, but he hefts it up and gets it, plops it up on the table and pulls himself up onto a chair and fills himself a tankard of ale and kind of plots his like, we are getting close to the end of our current situation in the tale, and I think it's hard time I talk about, from my own unique perspective, what I remember about the Cave of Echoes, 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 echoes. Now, I have mapped out this cave network meticulously to scale, because I find model building calms me. And in my later years, I've decided to find as many things that could calm my damaged mind as best. And I find that working with these little models and little creatures and putting them together in little displays really just helps center me as a being. So, and he whips the tarp off, or the cover off, like a bit of sackcloth, and it comes off. And Oster, you're coming out of the kitchen at this point, and you just see him like and dust and kind of billows up into the air, and he's like, well, um, as you can see, I have put hours upon hours of uh attention into this presentation. And before you, you see essentially a dwarven forged little set of maps that are built out of little kind of foam pieces and bits of wood and metal. And it's the cave network of the Cave of Echoes with little kind of figurines made out of steel and not plastic, but steel and wood and whittled within an inch of their life. Some of them highly detailed, some of them not so much, because like they're the early ones, they're the mock-ups that he practiced on. They're kind of tucked away in little dark corners of the thing, hidden away behind little kind of pieces of furniture and broken stone. And it's intricate. It is quite well made. And you find yourselves poring over it. Oster, as you're coming out with the tray of food, I need you to give me well, two things. I need you to give me a concentration check, please.
So just a straight
Yeah, straight. It's concentration. Yeah.
That is a 12.
Okay. As you come out, you're kind of caught off guard with the flip of the tarp and the tray you're holding. As you look up and you see the dust cascade in the air, you see this kind of diorama revealed, and you're kind of caught off guard slightly, and you trip a wee bit as you, tripping over a little loose stone on the ground at the top floor of the tavern. Give me a dex roll, please. Dex save.
That is a 21.
Oh, 21. Yeah, you trip and you catch yourself straight away, balancing the tray without problems up on one hand. Very dexterous, very expertly done, waiting on these tables for years within the tavern, and you just manage to catch the table. Nothing is spilt, and you spin the tray around and slide it onto the empty section of the long table that this diorama now occupies. I would like to take you all back to the time when we made our way to these dark, dank caves filled with turmoil and evil, where we discovered the truth about the town of Phandelver. As it fades into the kind of dark, dank, swampy forest area that surrounds these entrance to these caves, all of you find yourselves traipsing in the past, after Gundren informed you that the Black Spider, the individual responsible for all the wrongdoings and bad shenanigans that's happening in the town of Phandalin, is to be found within the Cave of Echoes. You have been presented with a map of the cave. Gundren has told you that his brothers, Nundro and Tardin, went to these caves and have not been seen since. They went to excavate them with the idea of treasures and magical items and enchantments dancing in their heads as they made their way towards these dark, foreboding caves. And you find yourself about 20 to 30 feet coming upon what you believe to be the entrance to this area. Are the group doing anything in particular at this point?
I think Deceit is just trying to make sure that they don't get like any like swamp water on like the bottoms of their pants, because like the boots are already ruined. So like if I can save the pants, I can save the pants. That's about it. They're just kind of like preoccupied with getting through this swamp like as like cleanly as possible.
It's not so much that it's a swamp, but it's like old, you know, when you're in the deep part of a wood in a forest where all of the foliage is mulch and, the ground seems to be trodden. And as the group, I don't have your, sorry, apologies, I don't have your character sheets in front of me, but can everyone give me their passive perception, please?
Yeah.
13.
11.
13.
Okay. The two of you that have 13, as you're wandering, you notice that the ground here actually is well trodden. Quite recently. By a myriad of different footprints, different sizes. And if anyone wants to give me an investigation check, either of yourselves want to give me an investigation check, please do so.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
to confirm what is. I'm going to bring
Ooh,
up your character sheets here as a bad DM. I should have all of these up and running.
that is
10.
18.
Okay, an 18. Um, you see, there are definitely some hobgoblin footprints, heavily trodden, large, probably a size 11 or 12 boot. But there is also a kind of mixed in between them as you start to kind of investigate it. You don't try. You try, and obviously Deceit doesn't get too close to the mud, but you kind of lean down and you kind of sussing it out a bit, and you notice, and you would know this having a light foot yourself, that there is definitely it's either an elf form or somebody who's light of foot, very dexterous, has passed through here as well.
Mm.
A kind of a very, and you would know actually with your fashion sense the type of boot that they would wear, particularly with that role, that they're armored
Okay.
and they walk lightly amongst all of these hobgoblins, and they seem to be traveling together at the same time.
And the hobgoblins kind of seem like similar kind of boots that the hobgoblins would have been wearing at, like, say, Cragmaw Castle or something.
Exactly.
So does he just like tells the group that, I guess, just tells like, so we have large footprints and we have some light little footprints. All of them seem to be armored, but one of them seems to be a little bit more fleet of foot than the rest. I think we're going to have quite a bit of company.
Could be that drow. Did we catch the drow? Or did she run away? The car.
We
We
caught
caught-
her and brought
yeah.
her back, I think.
Yes, yeah.
But like whether they could keep her or not, we don't know, I guess. Whether they could hold
That's
on to her.
Or it could be,
That's
you
right.
know, another drow.
I think
Could be.
part of the reason that Oster hasn't really been noticing a lot of these details, like the trail and the footprints and stuff, is that when the ground started to get that bit more mulchier, like when it started to get a bit more wet and mucky, he's gone full Arnold Schwarzenegger versus the Predator and just covered himself.
Come on, kill me now.
Yeah, it's
Get the job off.
he's blending in. Like it's that thing of like
Good lads.
again in the hero manual, it did say that know thy surroundings, become one with your surroundings. So like he's just painted himself in mud. Like he's grabbed mulch and kind of put it down his pants. Like the smell, obviously.
Oh, bestie.
So
I just imagine Deceit and I like looking at these footprints and then turning and just being like,
Yeah, it's just like
So you just look up and Oster's just in the tree.
yeah. It's a disguise. It helps you blend in. Deceit, you know.
Oster, give me a stealth check. Actually,
Okay.
give me a stealth check.
yeah, where's us?
I don't think he's that stealthy. Surprisingly.
Oh, you never know.
Oh, actually, you know what? He's not too bad.
Are you covered in mud?
Yeah.
Are you covered in mud?
Yeah.
Roll with advantage.
Okay. So it was an 18 or a 22. So a 22.
The two of you look up, and Oster is gone.
He's been kidnapped.
Just like
oh, sir, darling, where are you?
he's not walking against the wind. Shit.
Are you?
Deceit. Psst. Deceit. And
Mother?
it's that he no, but thank you. It's me, Oster. It's me. I'm here, and he's like he kind of waves a hand. He's like again, he's
Oh.
leaning up against kind of a tree and a rock, like.
And Deceit immediately, like instinctually, like pulls out a handkerchief, like, "Oh, darling, you're filthy," and just starts
No.
to clean your face.
No, I was trying to do what you do.
Oh, you're well, that's done. And I just throw the handkerchief aside.
You don't look
Well-
very sexy.
It's
It's normally what Deceit does. It's like holding her up, holding this girl.
It got me.
Wow. Like 10 minutes in, everyone's broken.
New record.
Yeah, that's true. mean,
Sorry.
it might work for him. He might like it. He might like to look like this. I don't really know.
No, no,
Do you mean like
it's
you're disguising
camouflage. Yeah,
yourself as
yeah.
like the mud?
I'm camouflaged. So, like,
Oh, you're
I'm
sneaking. You're hide. Oh, well, I didn't read that. I'm sorry. We read this situation completely poorly, Thalia. Um, good. I mean, you did. I didn't see you.
well. You've always said
Keep
I
doing
just
that.
blended into the background, so I'm.
I mean,
That's actually a good idea.
that's not bad. Um, I won't be doing it, but I will hide and things. Well, regardless, we do have company ahead of us. That is a good idea to stay a little bit hidden. So I guess we should probably move a little bit quietly through here. You keep this up, and I point to Oster, like you keep that up. That's working for you, clearly. Um,
Okay, and he's just gonna like add more mud where you wiped it off.
great.
About 30 to 40 feet ahead of you, Ozfire is standing there with Gundren's map, and he's like, I do believe I have found the entrance of where we're trying to go. It's according to the map, it is over here about 10 feet away.
Wonderful. S- So, do I see anything like ahead of us? Like, do I see any like?
If you head up towards Ozfire, yeah, you'll start to see some stuff.
Okay, I'll head up to Osfire. I'm gonna like. I think I'm gonna head up to Osfire, but I'm gonna kind of keep an eye out behind us and just make sure that like nobody's following us, I guess, because I feel like we
Okay.
haven't been doing that, and I've just been self-absorbed for a little bit too long. I'm like, oh wait, danger. That's a thing. So yeah, that's a thing.
Okay. Are you actively keeping your eye?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Cool. Okay. And are you going to keep doing that? Will I do note that you're going to keep actively being aware?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
like watching behind us, make sure that nobody's following us where we are. That's my
Cool,
big
cool.
thing.
What are the rest of you doing at this point?
Looking for
Same coming
validation
up.
from Osfire.
Ozfire kind of just looks up from the map and he's like, he looks around to see if he can see you. That's a natural 20. That's mighty fine, boy. I can barely make it out. Good
Do you want me?
job, good
Do you want
job.
me to go on ahead? Will I?
Uh, I think maybe just try and scoot down from the tree a wee bit. I don't think like you're not gonna be able to spend the entire time in the tree. So maybe come down and kind of keep to the ground area, scoot along. Yeah, perfect, perfect. I mean, now you're down to my height, kind of at the same level. So yeah, I understand. Excellent.
A visual gag.
This is going to be a scary episode.
Sorry.
This
The
episode is gonna
gang
be so
derail
scary.
Wayne's horror. Yes.
My knees are ruined from that, though. That's the scary thing.
And like as far as just kind of like excellent. And he just goes back to the map. He's like, I think, well, yeah, it's about 20 feet this way. I think that I can see a kind of a drop down. It seems to be an entrance or a divot in the ground over here. And he kind of starts to lead off as he holds the map up and is kind of moving it around. As the rest of
Same as the seat is looking out for like people. I think Thalia's gone more into like, okay, we're in maybe danger mode, and it's like checking out for any traps or signs of those hobgoblins and things ahead as well
Okay.
as we go in.
Nice.
Okay. Good looking out. I'll keep that in mind. So the group kind of move towards, and Oster is kind of scooting down real low, kind of to the ground, keeping kind of stealthy. But the group kind of move forward, everyone being aware of everything. Osfer are kind of actually oblivious to it and is just walking with the map kind of towards where the entrance he thinks is. And as you kind of come around, as though like the trees are starting to get gnarled and kind of form in, and you feel like it's kind of pressing down on you, and you can feel how deep you are in this forest. The air is tight and close, and there's a heaviness to kind of the area around you, and it's silent. Like for the longest time, you could hear, moving in the foliage. You could hear like wildlife, birds chirping. The odd brush would move with a small creature moving about the place. But as the two of you are looking out, you realize as you get closer to what you think is the entrance, it is silent. Not quiet, silent. And Osfire steps forward and kind of folds the map up, sticks it into his armor, still a bit greasy, and moves forward and kind of there's a rock, and he kind of seems to be a bit out of place. You know, when you still like there was moss on one side of it, and it's now it's turned on its side, and the bear side is now facing out, and it's like, I do believe this has been moved recently. And he kind of pushes it to one side very slowly, and then pushes another rock, and then you see it kind of seems to crumble away, and an entrance appears as it seems to move downwards into the ground. And there's kind of a waft of not so stale air. It's air that kind of wafts out. It's dank. There's a smell of must and mold to it, and it's not nice. But it seems to definitely this area seems to have been disturbed recently, as if you're not the first to go through here in the last while.
Hmm. Why don't we ever go somewhere like a gala or something? It's always like, I don't like this.
The entrance
When we
tunnel.
are rich,
Yeah.
when we are rich, we'll go to a party.
The next mission has to be a heist or some sort. I don't know.
Yeah,
The ball. Ocean's 11, the shit out of it.
a political
Um,
party.
The tunnel leads down into a large cavern. And as you walk down through these kind of roughly hewn steps, you notice that this has been definitely like somebody has hollowed out this area. Like it's not a natural formation. But then as you get down, seems to be natural pillars of rock also present. And there's a large cavernous area containing three large stalagmites. In the western part of the cave, behind a column of rock, as you all walk down and you adjust, which of you have dark vision, if anyone? Okay, two of you.
Sorry, as we were going in, is it possible to like cover up the entrance as we come in?
If you
Like, is it
wish.
possible to like grab some like vines and leaves and just try and pull them over the entrance?
Yeah, you can give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of pull stuff across and try to close it in as best you can, and
Yeah.
you spend a bit of time, and you seem to like happy with your work, and you cover it up, and it does as you do it progressively, it starts to block off the natural light. And
Mm.
those of you with dark vision, you adapt very quickly. But Osfar kind of produces a torch from his pack and kind of wraps it and torches them because being a halfling, he does not have dark vision, and obviously Oster, you don't have dark vision either.
No.
So, and he passes a second torch to you, and you light up the torch, and I mean, it's actually weird. You look over where Oster is, and it just looks like a torch floating there because he's still caked in mud, and you can just see two eyes and a torch in the darkness, and it's just wandering about. And you make your way down into this tunnel, and this that opens up into a large cavern area, supported by natural pillars of rock and stalagmites all over the place. And for anyone that's asking, stalagmites are the ones that go up, and stalactites are the ones that go down. In the western part of the cave, as you move in, and your dark vision kind of takes everything in its hues of color, you see behind a column of rock, over on the western side of the cave, 3 bedrolls and a heap of what look like packs and supplies. The sacks, satchels. There's a couple of lanterns unlit, a few flasks, and you actually see a pickaxe and a shovel and other gear. What did the group want to do?
I guess
Look.
I think Deceit wants to have a look around the stuff that's there in the bedroom and just like maybe just like give a look around.
Okay. You gonna make your way over to the gear and the stuff that's lying about the place?
I think I'd like to make my way over there quietly if I can too. I'd like
Sure.
to be like listening out for people as well if I could.
Yeah. As you're listening out, you do hear this weird, off in the distance, kind of away and down in your kind of field of hearing, this kind of rushing sound. It's like air and wind blowing, and it seems to be rhythmic of some sort. And it's off in the distance, very faint. But you don't hear anything else. There's the odd drip It's like all caves have that drip sound, and there is like the whoop, whoop off in the distance. And as the name of the cave suggests, there are echoes of sounds and winds and kind of moving through it. And you do feel a breeze every now and again. Again, very rhythmic. There's actually feels like there is a rhythm to something that's kind of pushing through this cave. And you like, is it just the seat going over to the gear? Is everyone going over as a group, or
I I think Oster is going to maybe check out the actual cavern itself. He wants to try and get a
no?
feel for their surroundings, you know, just in case of like any vantage points or where like is there, you know, if that stuff's been abandoned or if it's, you know, it's there and it's not being used, where do they go?
I think
Excellent. Okay.
also the two people with dark vision sticking together in the dark is probably like, that's a good idea because it would probably
Yeah.
Yeah.
be easier to sneak over there if there's people
Yeah,
around.
and Osfire is going to stick with Oster. Like, so you see the two dark vision go off one side and the two lamps go off the other side.
Cool.
And as you approach the area where the supplies are, you kind of round it, and you see the kind of the bedrolls, and you see lolled off to one side of one of the bedrolls, there's a body of a dwarf, and they seem to be unmoving.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to go check it out. I'd just check out if he's breathing.
As you get close to the body of the dwarf, the smell hits you,
Oh,
and there's a smell of decomposition.
oh,
and and you kind of move over and you see the skin and it's mottled and
oh.
the face is sunken and it looks like this dwarf has been dead for quite some time.
Does he look like Gundren? Like, is there a
I was
resemblance?
going to say, I think we might have found Nunder or Tardan.
Yeah. There's definitely a family resemblance here. Even in their state of decomposition, you can't mistake that kind of pronounced nose and big bushy eyebrows that are sitting like two large caterpillars on the top of this kind of sunken head.
Just because we don't know what the brothers each look like, Deceit is just going to take like mental note of like what he's wearing and like what kind of hair and beard he has, so that if I describe that to Gundren, he'll know which brother that probably
Well,
is.
I will say, retconning that part, that Gundren would have given you a description of each of his brothers before he
Perfect.
left. Okay,
Perfect.
so he would have told you, Gundren told you that his one of his brothers, Tardan, has thick black hair, and then the other one, Nundro, is actually the runt of the family, and he's got shocking red hair. No offense, Philippa, shocking red hair that is like sticking up in spikes on his head. So and as you get close and your dark vision adjusts and you realize that this body has a head of thick black hair.
Okay. Oh, well, we found one of our charges. Maybe not in the state we'd like to. Um, I'm gonna keep looking around the beds and stuff and see if I can find any, like, I know it's a bit of a long shot, but see if I can find any like notes, any like
Okay.
journals, any belongings that
Yeah.
might tell us something more.
Are you just checking the
And
area?
also
Yeah.
anything that could be easily taken back to give to Gundren, I think, as
Okay.
well.
Are you checking the area and the body or the area?
I'll check the I'll check the area if you want to check the body.
I'll check the body, yeah.
You can
Because
give
you
me
have an
Carefully.
idea. So.
individual rolls of investigation.
Perfect. Ooh, that is a 20 unnatural.
Okay.
What? Sorry, I've got new dice and I can't read it. Oh, wait. Unfortunately, it was a non-natural one.
Oh God.
It
Okay.
was a 2.
So, and you're checking the body, is that correct, Thalia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm
So,
just like, oh,
so you got a non-natural 20 and you got a natural one.
a
Non-natural one.
non-natural one.
Non-natural
I have
one.
Yeah.
-1 in investigation.
I have
Something
plus one.
unnatural. Okay. So I'm going to combine the two here, right? Because I want to be fair on this. So as Talia is trying to find stuff on the body is quite decomposed, and you go to lift up part of the leg, and it just, because of your size and your arms, the leg just kind of seems to pop out of its socket within its pants,
Oh,
and you're like,
Thalia,
oh,
be careful.
Oh,
ah,
that
and
doesn't-
and the seat as you're looking over, as you're looking through the packs and everything like that, you just realize this is just packs of provisions, salt, dried meats, oil, lamp oils. But you look over as Talia's holding up this kind of leg, a former dwarf leg, and you notice that the boots on the end seem to have a special sparkle about them.
I'd like to have a look at the boots.
You take the boots.
I put the leg down first.
Put the leg
What was his brother's name again?
This is Tardan.
Tardan, perfect. Thank you.
And you kind of the leg, the disembodied leg is there, kind of sitting juxtaposition to the rest of the body off at a weird angle. And you notice that the boots themselves seem to be very well made. Give me an Arcana check, please.
Sure. Oh god, that's terrible. It's 4. It was
4.
on like an 18 and then rolled off onto a 4. I was like,
you're not 100% sure. These are really well made boots, and they seem to have kind of inscriptions on the side of them, but you can't really make them out what they mean. It seems to be written in Dwarvish. Do you speak Dwarvish?
let me double check because I know I took some weird languages. I do not.
Yeah, so you don't understand what this script means, but it definitely seems to be some special threaded writing in the sides of these boots. Like they could say Nike for all you know, but they are nice boots, very well made.
These are quite nice. Does he have anything else identifying on him that we can take, like just the boots?
Just the boots.
Damn, I don't want to give them back.
I
just kind of.
Sally at the moment is like doing that thing where you try and clean your hands, but there's like nothing to clean them on, so she's just like wiping them on the rock floor of the cabin. Like, oh.
Isn't there beds here?
Paws,
Like,
like,
on the bed.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Zeke just kind of says, I mean, these boots look really nice. I don't know if I want to give them back, but we probably should. Or we could. Here's a crazy thought. We could use them for now, and then maybe we're just borrowing them, and then just give them
There's
back.
dead
after.
feet in them at the moment, though. They're going to smell good.
Oh, we can just take them out of the. We can just take the dead feet. We can just.
I don't know. I once had a mouse die in my boot, and it smelt for a long time afterwards. That's a real story.
From
real
these
stuff.
Oh god! Ouch!
My cat left a mouse in my boot, and it was horrible, and it went all like dry. And then I thought it was a twig, and I put it out and then flung it across the room. Boots were never the same.
Oh no!
Anyway, sorry. Back in character. Yeah, you can't get the
And
smell
we're
out.
back in horror.
Maybe if I'm just gonna hold on to them for like a little while, like just a little moment.
Wear them if you want. I don't mind, but they'll probably just be a bit.
Do they look
small.
like do they look my size? Like do I look do they look like I
fancy.
can fit them?
And what size feet does the seat have? Deceptionally large or small feet?
Oh, I think the seat is like a comfy size 7.
Okay. These are dwarven sizes, so okay, I'm gonna roll something here. I just want to see. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. Actually, so are you gonna try and put them on?
Yeah, the seat's gonna try and put them on. Putting my little like my own kind of wrecked. Actually, my shoes are kind of wrecked right now. We established that, so I'm actually just going to leave them there at the bed because I'm like, they've done well, but I can't really
Actually,
wear
yeah.
those.
To be fair, your normal shoes are also smelly, so.
Okay, 1 second. I just wanna check something here. Yeah, you go to try and put them on. Second, just want to check something here.
Am I gonna get
Go.
cursed?
They explode.
My boots.
Just get stuck halfway on your foot and you can't take them off.
Boots have stopped talking. That would really kill the seat. Boots have shit up.
Okay, so you take the boots and you kind of it's like the ugly stepsisters trying to push on Cinderella's slipper situation. Like your toes bend slightly as you push them in, but then you kind of feel a wee bit of a tingle, and they kind of give a slight bit. Roll me an Arcana check for a second. Again.
Oh god, that's nearly the same. It's 6.
Oh, you do force your foot in. They're not that much smaller than your actual feet, but you kind of get the sense that if you give it some time, they might actually, you might break them in a bit.
Deceit is used to wearing really awfully uncomfortable shoes that are maybe a size too small to look daintier, like on stage. Like Deceit is like really used to just like jamming their feet into like really pretty shoes. It's like find one on
That's fair.
sale. I'm like, oh, they'll fit, and like pain, no pain. Like
You just got to
beauty is
use
pain.
thaumaturgy to warm them up a bit.
Yeah,
And
beauty
they
is
stretch
pain.
right out.
Beauty is pain, and that's it. That's how
It's like
Deceit feels about
the
it.
I wouldn't
Andrew.
know. I don't wear shoes.
Yeah, it's the Andrew from Always Sunny trying to fit into like some Jimmy Choos that are like 3 sizes too small, and your toes are like this.
Yeah,
Oh,
and Deceit is like, oh, they're perfect. They are the perfect
Back in horror.
size.
I can hear
They
them
look very
throbbing.
nice on you.
Yeah, you can see Deceit is like, they are the perfect size.
Across the cavern, Oster, you just hear this cracking of bones as you kind of turn, as the sea tries to force on these dwarven boots. And across the cavern, as you kind of are walking around waving your torch, um, you kind of move to one side. Give me a perception check, please.
Okay. My boy is. Oh, he's not that perceptive. That's a 3.
Okay.
He's oblivious. He's oblivious to literally
Okay.
everything.
Right, so I just rolled for Ozfire and he just saved your life. He rolled a 15. You kind of step forward with your torch. You're looking out in the distance to see if you can see anything in the dark. And it's weird. It's like you can see for a fair bit all of a sudden, and then it just seems to go into blackness. Just as Ozfire wraps his arm around your bottom part of your legs and pulls you back for a second. He's like, boy, you gotta be careful. And you look down.
Oh, I love you too, Osfire. And he hugs Osfire.
Ugh. Stop with look. You got to stop with the affections and stuff. But look down. And if you look down, you see that you are just on the edge of what looks like a large drop into the blackness of the caves.
Oh,
And as you stumble back, you notice for the first time there's a stalagmite to your left, and there is a large binding rope tied around it, wrapped and tied tight, and drooped down over the lip of the drop, down into the blackness below.
yeah. Wow. That was close,
Yeah,
but
you
not
telling
close because
me.
it's so far down. It's uh, and Oster is going to take his torch and he's gonna just drop it down just to see.
Nice.
Can we see it? Um,
So you drop the torch, and because like neither you or Osfar have dark vision, it is like everything looks black. But as you drop the torch down, it drops about 20 feet, and you see it hit ground, and and the flames like fizzles a bit, but stays alight as you see this 20-foot drop into a deep pit. Um, and just as the torch rolls across the floor of this pit, it kind of comes to a rest and illuminates a small cavernous area. And then off to the north, kind of west area of this kind of cavern place that's down below you, you see there is a tunnel that seems to be leading off into the darkness.
he's gonna look at Osfire, the rope, and then kind of look at where Deceit and Thalia are standing, and the scene of Deceit war criming her feet into those boots. He's kind of putting two and two together. I think this is where Nundro and Tardan went, and he's gonna point at the rope and then the pit. I think they've gone down here.
Not Tardrin. They're
No.
dead.
Tadrin's dead. He's right here. Sorry, we probably should have told you.
Like dead? dead.
Like
Definitely
if you had
dead.
if you had a problem with those goblins in the first episode. I love that I said episode. Sorry. In the in the
No, I
first
definitely seem to
episode.
see it saying episode. Episode is
Yeah,
like
yeah,
really,
yeah. That's it. That's
You're
canon.
meta.
If you remember the goblins from the first episode,
Mhm.
or the second episode, like way worse than that. So don't come over here if you're sensitive.
Very gross.
Yes.
And he's not sleeping.
Well,
Definitely not.
his leg came off, unless that happens in your sleep too. Do you know how many
I wasn't
dwarves
going
that
to say
happens
that.
Uh,
No, oh, I probably shouldn't have. I'm sorry. No,
Yeah,
he's just very peacefully
Oster
dead,
wretches.
normal
It's
dead.
Oh,
Oh no, he's very
Uh,
normally dead, like just normal dead, like he's just dead.
Definitely dead.
okay.
I start coming over across to come
Yeah,
and see.
I started going over and just like I'm walking in front of the
Careful.
body. So,
Careful,
Yeah.
careful. There's a huge
Yes,
hole.
I can see. I have dark vision.
yeah, we can see it too.
Oh.
Yeah, I can see it. But
Well,
thank you. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
Oster is still standing there with his arms kind of out like a crossing guard lady, like that. Like no, like.
So there's
Speaking
no
of, do we?
is there no other
Sorry, you
like
go.
sorry, is there no other like entrances or exits to the room that we're in? This is like the only way that we know forward.
No, it's like as you all turn now and see, you can see that there is. And Declan, if you could bring up the map,
Yep.
Stunning. Boots.
you can see that this seems to be that this whole area has been hewn out of the floor of the cavern and it's caved in a bit,
Okay.
and there is debris around in certain sections. You see that part of the a section of the cavern is collapsed, forming a 10-foot wide, 20-foot deep pit. And then you take in this sturdy hemp rope that's tied off on a nearby stalactite, or stalagmite. Can't get that wrong. And it dangles down off the side of the pit. And you can look down, you can see where Oster has dropped his torch, and it illuminates the general area. And you follow your eyes up, and you can see that there's a tunnel that leads deeper into the caves.
Okay.
And that rhythmic seems to be pushing through, and you can feel it's like a gentle breeze against you.
Well, that way?
Seems like that way. What I was going to say was, Tundran is definitely dead. Has left their pack, so if we need anything, we could. For example, there's a pickaxe there. With all these cave-ins, I don't know if we need anything. I think we already have rope. I think we have most of what we need. But if you need an extra, there's a lantern, Oster, if you want to be able to see more.
Yeah. And
I'll go get that lantern.
Yes,
you
Deceit
just stay
can
here,
go.
and I'll run and grab the lantern.
I flex to cover most of the view.
I think I'll also take his pack as well, just like for the rations
Sure.
and stuff,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's not going to use them.
Just as an aside, I love the fact that now all of a sudden the group are protecting Oster from the evil.
yeah, from the gore, from the dead.
It's like it's the evolution of the group is definitely obvious now. It's beautiful.
This is a dangerous situation. It's
Protect the
not time
child.
for learning.
Yes, protect-
It's time
Yeah.
for doing.
protect the innocent one.
Yeah.
Outside in the open, you can see a few goblin deaths. Down here it
Yeah.
seems weird.
So the rope is like it's a thick rope. It's like it'll take you. It seems to take you one at a time to go down into the area. So, what's the marching order here? Who's going first?
I'll go first because I'm sneakier and I have dark vision, so I'll go first.
Everyone that's going down the rope, I need you to give me an athletics check, please.
Ooh, can I do acrobatic?
I'll allow an acrobatics.
Yay! I'm
Twirl
better at
around
that.
the rope.
Yeah.
Leg up.
Oh,
Going down the pole, yeah.
I love that I asked for that, forgetting that I was proficient. It's 19.
Okay.
I just knew that I'm Dexy. I'm not strong, so.
Ali, how'd you do?
I'll do a little athletics, which is a non-natural 20.
Sick.
10.
10. Oster, you going last or second to last?
I think second to last. Just if it's the thing of like the two with the dark vision, like if one went first.
Sure. So as Oster is fumbling with the new lamp that he's been given, trying to see if he can get it lit and kind of spark the oil, uh, you accidentally spill some of the oil onto the rope and you slip and fall. Talia, you look up as you land
Can I
with
try
a
and
and you see Oster's large form careening through the darkness towards you.
catch?
Give me a strength save, please.
Can
Yeah.
I do something in the interim as well? Just
You can fall.
okay.
I got a
You're level 4
19.
now, though, as a monk, right?
What?
Yeah.
Can't you slow
So
fall?
um, I have slow fall, so that's what I was going to ask. Can I use my reaction to reduce my falling damage by any falling damage you take by 20?
I will allow that if Talia fails at her
Okay.
strength save, because
Well,
you
I
can
got a
catch.
19, so
Yeah, so you kind of the oil hits the rope and you're like, and you lose your balance. You, slow motion, you fall back, and you feel your stomach lurches and you kind of tip backwards into the darkness, ass over tit, and you just all of a sudden find yourself in Talia's arms, looking
it's so
into her face.
fluffy.
I'm so sorry.
My arms are all furry from being a tabaxi. I'm just like, oh, sorry,
I-
Leonin. No worries.
Like just like a giant man baby, just like.
holding a man baby.
Just gently like deliver you onto the floor. There you go.
Yeah, and he's gonna wipe his hands like on his pants and shirt, like trying to get some of the oil residue off.
And you eventually get the lamp lit then after the fact. Yeah, the DC was 15, so you had to kind of beat that. And then I rolled a 17 for Osfire. So Osfire then plonks down beside you and then just lifts up his torch and kind of waves it about a bit. He's like, I do believe we're going this way, I suppose. Who's leading the way here?
I would like to scout ahead sneakily
Okay.
if possible.
Yeah.
And I'll say that to the crew. I'll say like I'm gonna mime it. Like I'm gonna just be like, and then I'm just gonna
Find
start
it.
sneaking ahead. I'm just gonna do our little hand gesture.
Okay. I'm just bringing up my map here for myself so I can have it.
Should we stay in the order we're in? Then Thalia can lead the main group if anything big attacks us.
That's good.
So you are kind of moving. So you look and you see actually can as you're scouting ahead. Give me a perception check, please.
Oh gosh, that's not super stunning. I am not proficient, but that is an 11. Just
Okay. You kind of look up ahead and with an 11, where you come down from the thing, there seems to be a kind of an entrance directly to your right, and you kind of peer off into the darkness, and it's only about 25 feet away. So your dark vision 60 feet.
yeah.
Yeah, you can just make out another kind of exit to the northwest.
Okay.
There's one directly to your right, and then there's one just northwest of you. So you have options here.
Okay. I would like to go up towards the north. I think, yeah, I'd like to go up towards the north one, but I'd like to I'm trying to be sneaky. I'll head up towards the north one because I can already see that there's the other one. I already know that one's there. I want to confirm like what's through that one just in case it's something because the lads will probably end up meeting that other entrance first, or like while I'm going to check out the other one.
Okay,
If
so
that makes any sense.
you're gonna go northwest then.
Yeah, I'm heading to the north one, because the one that I know for real is there. The ye behind me will kind of come upon that, and I want to scout ahead and check out that one. And if there's nothing in there, I'll pop back to the rest of the group.
Okay, so to see as you move kind of through the darkness towards the northwest side, you pop out into another corridor, and these corridors like they're all roughly hewn rock,
Mhm.
and there's that kind of echoing kind of wave. And now that you're down in the caves, you kind of feel it rush against you, and it seems to be more prominent and building. But there is that dank stench of underground, like the heavy kind of earthy smell of being under the ground? And like, as I don't know, as a character, like, does Deceit feel comfortable in this place?
Um, I think Deceit is not uncomfortable.
Okay,
They don't mind like spaces like this as long as it's not dirty. They don't mind.
it's filthy.
Oh yeah, then they're not happy about it. As long as it's not like, if it's not like, the
I
thing
mean,
is,
it's
right?
an underground dwarven cave.
I
It's
mean,
gonna
like
be
that's,
dirty.
if it's not like, I guess that's probably, dirty is not the right word to use. If it's not like slimy and like gross
Sure,
and there's not like
sure.
goo or anything, like if it's just like soil and dirt, that's fine. That's okay. Being like a tiefling, they kind of have like, they're kind of used to like areas like this, dark kind
Okay.
of underground areas.
Well, I mean, the area that you move into, it's dirt, like as in it's rock and hewn rock and
Yeah, that's
soil
fine.
and gravel and stuff. But the area that you've just moved into consists of numerous intersecting passages, kind of crisscrossing
Oh,
each other. The ceilings are about 6 feet high. So how tall is the seat?
oh, Deceit's like 6'2".
6'2". So you're kind of slightly stooped a wee bit.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, the group are quite tall compared to, except for Osvar. Is that correct? Like everyone seems to be at
Yeah.
least 6 feet plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and several of the passages end in kind of like, you look around and you kind of look off in the distance at least 60 feet. You can see that some of them that would have been passages that would have gone somewhere are blocked by excavated and fallen rocks. So it's kind of like dead ends in places. But you do see, like, off to your left, it goes off down a corridor and it seems to cut off into two different sections that are blocked, but then it leads a bit north and it seems to be open. And then to your right, then it
Okay.
kind of goes, takes a turn to the left and then seems to lead up. So there are some passageways here that are open to you, but not everything is
Hmm.
like open. There's some places that are blocked off.
Perfect. Where roughly are we actually on the map itself? Like on the thing, just so I can, like, as a player can
So
get
you
like a.
are, so where you come in on the map, you come in at the bottom left corner. You
Okay, cool.
And then there's that little area there. That's the pit that you're in. And
Hmm.
then you have now moved west of that map, and you are just outside the rock pit there. That's where you.
Perfect. And that other entrance that I saw, was that the one that goes off to the
Yeah.
east? Okay, Grant. I think after seeing like what I've seen, I'm gonna kind of regroup.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
move
you
back
move back
to
to
the
the
rest of the
group. As the seed starts to move back to the group, have you guys done anything? Have you gone anywhere? What have you done at this point?
So I think Oster would have, speaking fluent semaphore, told the group what Deceit was doing. I think maybe we should wait for them to come back, because rule number 14 of the Hero's Manual is you don't split the party.
Where did you find this manual?
Oh, I sign up to them. Like the little bit of like of my pocket wages that I get, my pocket wages. I signed up. It's like a and every month they send you a new booklet, and it has like kind of rules and tips and
Tips.
tricks and like some really fascinating articles. Um, I can make a shiv
How
out
much
of
do you pay a month?
well, see, my dad actually holds on to my pocket wages, and he tells me that it takes up the better part of what I have, and the rest he's putting into a savings account for me. So, um, I think it's 2 silver pieces.
And
Are you going to stop subscribing now you've been on an adventure?
Oh, well, if we're standing there, kind of waiting,
We're
like
just
yeah,
like
you're
having
having
a
this
chat.
chat
yeah,
because, like, I mean, the seed has gone off, done their recce, and is starting to come back just at the end of this conversation. And Ozfire is kind
he's
of peering around, kind of at the kind of the area, holding out the torch, and just as he holds up the torch, you see the seed move out of the darkness.
Hello, friends. We have a few options. We can head down this way to the whatever direction that is. I Do we? Nobody has a compass, right? Anyway, it's that way. We can go that way, and I'm pointing to the east one. Um, and I wanted to say Eastern character, but I was like, Deceit doesn't know that. They're stupid.
Well, I mean, I can. If you give me a survival check, I will allow for you to figure it out.
Sure. I'm gonna say that's probably not enough. Where's survival? 8.
Nah,
Yeah, exactly.
you're lost.
They're kind of silly. Um, well, we can go that way. I don't really know where that goes because I didn't go that way, but I went up this way and I point to the northern one that I went through. And there's like kind of a interconnecting caverns. There's like some of them are kind of closed off, some of them it looks like a little bit of a maze, but some of them kind of might be closed off. And then way ahead of that, it seems to open up into possibly a larger cavern. So do we want to go with mystery box number 1 or the one that's kind of scouted a little bit?
I mean, if it looks okay, I think we should go
It wasn't dangerous
the way
from what
you
I
went.
saw, so
Yeah.
we could just go.
Talia
trying to
and
stick your head
Deceit
in
at
the
this
other one.
point, as you're having this conversation, the hair on the back of your neck stands up, and you just hear in the darkness.
I don't like that noise. What was that? Can I look around and see if I see anything?
Give me a perception check, please.
Sure. Ooh, she's a 21.
Just off coming from the northwestern entrance that you came from, you see a kind of an amorphous shape starting to ooze its way slowly through the entrance into this area.
Gross shape, gross shape, gross shape, gross shape. And I'm like pointing, and like Deceit is like actively backing behind Thalia because it's oozy and gross. They're like, gross shape, gross shape, gross shape.
Maybe we should go. Maybe we should go in the other way then, away from gross shape.
I with this plan. I like this plan. Away from gross shape, away from gross shape. Let's.
I push you to the front. I push the seat to
Yeah,
the front.
You see it
move.
start
We're
to
gonna-
pour itself into the room as it just flops into the area like a large kind of viscous form.
Is it fast?
It's slow as fuck.
Okay, this way, and I'm pushing people to the eastern cavern.
Okay. You kind of start to scoot your way through. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Like at this stage, would Osfire and Oster have heard it if it's getting that close to us? Like, are we?
Yeah, you would have heard it, and if you
pointing it
you
out,
would have
yeah.
kind of seen it too.
Can again the hero manual does come with like descriptions of like various kind of things that you would encounter out in the field and how to be ready for them. Is it possible for Oster to identify what this thing is?
Are you going to roleplay? Do you have your manual out? I want to see you actually. I'd love it that you like. It's like a Pokedex that you've pulled out of your pocket, and you're just like.
It was that thing before, like, but kind of before Thalia. Before Deceit returned. Like Oster had taken out, because he has. It's the scrapbook that we saw in the very, very first episode where it's his diary.
Yeah.
Back.
And he does have articles cut out for it and like pasted in, for like on the go, and like if you get caught in an avalanche, there is actually a whole page that he's devoted to how you survive an avalanche. So could he be quickly flicking through this to try and because he was going to show Thalia the article that he's going to hopefully submit, and it's my first adventure ... with friends for life. Is what it's in draft, and that's a working title, and he didn't show Thalia, so he's not embarrassed, but it's okay. So would that be
So if Oster is consulting his adventurer's journal, you look up and you flip through the pages until you find a very lovely woodcut drawing or ink drawing of what looks like an ochre jelly. As you look up and you see this yellow amorphous form kind of just slither and pour itself into the area that you're in extremely slowly. This thing has got 10 feet. Yeah, as you look up the stats in your guidebook, funnily enough, where you realize that this thing has an armor class of 8, hit points of 45, and a speed of 10 feet, as the adventurer's guide dictates to you. So you kind of, strangely enough, feel well informed about this creature.
okay? This thing is going to move very, very slowly. I don't know if it's got. I mean, there is one theory, and he is now distracted. There is a theory that the ochre jellies actually come from like a mother jelly, and that they can
I'm
connect.
like, I put a little paw on it, and I'm like, look, the Mandy won't tell you this, but a lot of venturing you should just do on instinct, and the instinct right now is let's not stay around to find out more.
Okay,
Let's
so
go.
on that instinct, Oster's instinct is to kick it. Like his instinct is to boot it. That's his. He knows how weak these things are, and he knows that smashing it is better than slashing it. So he's gonna full on. He's gonna just try and punt the jelly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you aiming to actually knock this back through the area that it came through, like the entrance it came through? Is that
Yes.
Oster's goal?
Yes.
Okay. Roll me an attack, please.
Okay. That's plus 6. That is 11.
That hits. Armor class is 8, as your adventurer journal will tell you.
And then it's a D8. He's going to be doing, but he also has something else that he's going to be.
I'm going to give you a bit of flavor on this as well, because you're
Okay.
confident. You have this confidence building in you, Oster, because your group are there to support you, and your knowledge of your adventurer's journal that you've paid your subscription fee to is bolstering you with your knowledge about this creature. That I want you to roll a d6 and add it to your damage as
Okay.
well.
Okay, so that's 14 damage in total.
14 damage.
Yeah.
And now I want you to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I know there's a thing that he can do. So I have the Crusher feat. So when I hit a creature with an attack that deals bludgeoning damage, you can move it 5 feet to an unoccupied space.
Nice.
Provided the target is no more than one size larger than you.
Okay. It definitely isn't. But I was also going to give you a bit of flavor on it as well, because it's just in the roleplay moment. Roll a d20 for me.
Okay. Good dice. That is 17.
17. So, yeah. You all watch as Oster confidently strides forward. And it's like, it's a strange situation to find yourselves in, because Oster up at this point has been very timid about injuring anything and attacking anything. And the fear of killing something has generally overtaken his confidence. But you watch him stride forward, and he just rears his leg back and punts into this jelly. And it's kind of like his foot seems to disappear into it for a second. And there's a moment where you think the jelly's just going to wrap itself around him. But then, like an elastic that is broken, the jelly is catapulted back through the entranceway. And you hear off in the distance a splatting sound as it seems to impact against a distant wall. Oster, because you've embedded your foot in it, you do take 2 points of acid damage.
Mhm.
But the jelly is punted off into the darkness. And you all look up as Oster's just standing there, his journal in hand, just looking around going,
Did Oster punt it into the northern entrance?
yes, it kind of off into the darkness.
Well, that was wonderful.
She was very
Good,
good.
good. Yeah. Well,
That was a good instinct.
Yeah, they're not that smart, and I think that was kind of just a bit of luck. But he's now just incredibly embarrassed.
Deceit is just going to give him like a slap on the shoulder and just be like, "No, that was good work. We should head this way, though."
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's
Yeah, it's gonna come back.
Oster, you can take a confidence inspiration booster there for yourself.
Stunning.
Is that separate to normal inspiration? Just because I have inspiration and I've not burned that yet.
It means that you can put a bit of flavor on an action if you wish later on, as well as your
Got it.
inspiration.
Nice.
Tap.
Cool.
And Ozfire is just standing there with the torch in hand going, "Not bad, boy. Not bad at all."
Oh
So,
gosh.
are the group making their way east?
Yep.
Okay.
Making our way down
I think
here.
Deceit is going to try again to just run ahead and like not so much so as before, but just to be like taking point and like
Okay.
being the front of the group, being the eyes.
Deceit vanishes off into the darkness. Talia, you see them disappear into kind of the caverns. Oster and Talia and Osfire kind of at the rear, gently but slowly but surely moving into the next area. Is there anything you as a group want to do while Deceit is doing her kind of their investigation?
Just quietly chatting more. Now I'm intrigued about this journal. I'm like, I was gonna say I don't think it's worth money, but actually that was quite impressive, Oster.
Well,
Do you have any back
I
editions?
well, my mom was always trying to throw them out, but I have them stored under my bed. Like they're just, yeah. I've issues 1 through 36. I have 2 copies of 37 because there was an alternate cover on the front of it. And yeah, they're all in pristine condition.
I feel
I always
I feel
I
hard.
always buy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I buy 2 copies because I like to keep the
Maybe
original.
I should have a look.
And
Because I've always just only gone on instinct, but maybe that's not always so good.
he is in the margins next to the ochre jelly. He is going to write down the just be mindful of the acid. When using your body to remove the ochre jelly. Like it's just
Spicy kick.
spicy. Yeah, he has in parentheses written spicy kick. But yeah, and he's just going to be showing kind of
I
Talia
just
a little bit more.
Declan, because it's you. I just had Chung Li voice in my head going spicy kick.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, so we're just talking about that as we, I think mostly.
So you're discussing all these different journals, and as far as kind of very carefully kind of checking every corner. The seat, as you kind of move through the cavernous area, there's many tunnels that intersect this area, and it's quite natural. There's like some naturally formed areas that are like rough and kind of what weird angles as tunnels kind of form, but then there's some that are like straight and very clearly tunneled out by individuals. The walls are carved in certain places that are definitely dwarven made because you see dwarven reliefs, kind of like inscriptions of dwarven shapes. So, that typical square dwarven design, beautiful kind of Art Deco in kind of shape and form. Um, and you also see a couple of little gnome figurines drawn into the walls as well. And as your eyes are drawn across these reliefs on the walls, you follow your eye down and you see that there are nearly a dozen skeletons in rusted scraps of armor scattered across the cavern floor in front of you.
Are they
At different,
like dead bodies kind of thing?
they're dead bodies, all at different intervals throughout this cavernous area.
Oh,
I need you to give me a. Okay, 1 second now. Just want to check something here. What's your passive perception?
13.
13, isn't it?
Mhm.
Okay. You are kind of moving forward. You see these skeletons in front of you. Give me a perception check, please.
Sugar. 8.
8.
Yeah, not good.
Your eyes are drawn by these skeletons, and you kind of start to lean forward looking for fashion items on their bodies because you've done so well so far.
Yeah.
And you're so engrossed in them that you don't hear the flapping noises from the cavern ceiling above you. As the rest of you start to move into the area, you see Deceit off about 30 to 40 feet ahead of you, leaning over a skeleton. I need all of you, apart from Deceit, to give me a perception check. Oh, for us, for garbage.
12.
12.
18.
18. Talia, you are also drawn in by the skeletons. You kind of go, geez, something happened here. And Ostra, as you're holding your lamp up high, you look up and you see that there are these pinkish and bat-like creatures hanging from the ceiling. And just as your lantern reaches its peak, they drop. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Should we take our break at this point then as well? if we're
Pardon?
should we take our break at this point if we're going to go to combat? Because it's 20
If
past
you
9.
wish, yes. If this
Yeah.
this would be a nice spot to take a break if we need to.
Cliffhanger.
Sorry, I didn't realize it's geez, it's 20 past 9.
Yeah.
We love to role
It's
play.
just been so much fun.
What's
Okay,
gonna be funny
so
is if
we are
like
going to take a break here, folks, and we will come back in a bit of combat after this, as something is dropped from the darkness above down onto our bunch of adventurers who do not know what awaits them. So we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes or so.
10 minutes. Yeah, we're
So
back half past.
everyone hydrate, throw some water in your face. See you in a bit.
And we're back.
Oh,
Welcome back, folks.
combat
So
time.
in the break, I have been hamstrung as a DM by a donation because of the donations are live, by the way, folks, for the D8 Dungeon Drive. Um, you can influence the game yourselves if you wish to. So I've been hamstrung twice. I have disadvantage now because of a donation on 2 rolls. And the group have guidance, if I'm not mistaken. So it's pretty much this particular piece of combat is probably not going to last very long, as the group now find themselves slightly split apart, as the seat is about 40 feet ahead of the group.
Mhm.
Out, think of like this square area, like a chessboard, dotted with bodies, skeletons, as the seat tries to find fashion items to match the boots that they have found so far. But unbeknownst to them, falling from the ceiling, leathery wings flap out as these pink, furry forms drop, and the only person to see them is Oster, as he looks up with his lamp and spots a small flock of 10 sturges dropping from the ceiling. And everyone needs to roll initiative, please.
Oh, sick. Unnatural 20.
Ooh. So 25 to
22.
20.
22.
11.
So 20. Osfar got 19.
I have a plan to get everybody up to me like super quick. Also,
Okay. So 20 to 15?
I'm 20.
20. Oh, okay. So you're before Osfar. So
Yeah.
to see. And then Tally, you got 11. Is that correct?
11. Yeah.
I'm going to roll for the Sturges of the group. Fuck them. Okay, yeah. So the Sturges are going before you, Talia.
I was gonna say, do they get disadvantage? No, I'm kidding.
So actually, no,
Could
they won't
that-
get a
10.
disadvantage on. It'll
Oh
be
my
attacks,
goodness.
so they won't get an initiative. They get it on attacks. So Sturgis and then Talia is last. Okay. So Oster, what do? You watch as you lift your lamp up and you catch this kind of mass of 10 forms dropping from the ceiling, all descending upon the seat because the seat is within the vicinity of the creatures.
Up, 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 and he's just he's pointing straight
no.
up with the lantern. And can I kick the lantern at one of them, like just
Ooh, nice.
set it ablaze or smash it at least in the face?
So this is what I'll do as a favor to yourself because you're slightly oily. Okay, the lamp is still slick with oil, and you go to kick it. I need you to roll me an athletics.
Okay, that's a +3. I'm gonna use my inspiration on that, not the confidence one, the actual inspiration that I have lying
The
there.
regular inspiration.
Yeah. That is a 15.
15. Tally, you watch as Oster full on like rugby kicks this like lantern boom, and punts it into the air as it kind of cascades into the sky. It catches a flame, and a tail of fire flicks around as it spins through the air and seems to aim towards the descending flock of sturges. Will I count this as an AoE attack or a hit? Are you aiming it at anything in particular, or just kicking it into the sky?
I was kicking it at one of the sturges. That was the attempt here was like to kick it at the sturges.
Okay. Roll an attack.
Okay. That is an 18.
That hits. Yeah. So you just at one of them, is it?
Yeah, I was just booting it up at like the closest one as it was falling.
What was your athletics on that again?
15.
15.
15. You kind of kick because they're still flocked as they drop. So you kick it up into the sky towards this flock of sturges as they fall. Roll your strength modifier and add 5.
Okay. 19.
19. You kick it up into the sky, and it just, as this like kind of like burst of flame cascades outwards, and all 10 Sturges evaporate in a burst of flame. As the rest of you are all standing there poised, the seat's still bending down, trying to pick up fashion items.
I haven't
Tanya,
even
Oster,
noticed
and
any of
Osfar
this.
ready to go. And from the point of view from the skeletons looking up at the seat as they bend over, you just see behind the seat this wall of flame burn, and there's this as all the Sturges individually,
What
because
was
they've got
that
2 hit
sound?
points.
Oh,
They've got
okay.
2 hit points. Sturges have no hit points at all whatsoever. They're just basically
Trash.
skin with wings. That's all it is.
Oh.
And they just like there's these little pops of air, and the seat you stand up and you're like,
Oh, what is that? Oh, hello, folks. I didn't see you there. You've joined me, but what is this? And there's just like bits of like ash and stuff from them, and I'm just like,
bits of fur.
it's like kind
it's
of,
like there's a smell of barbecue in the air.
it's
And
kind of
you're
like
like,
almost like gross confetti, and I'm just like, oh, I don't like. I'm just gonna like saunter back over to the group. I'm just like, oh, no, no, no.
yeah,
I
the most anticlimactic combat roll for initiative break ever.
sorry. Oster is like, Oster is, he is actually horrified at that. Like his intent was to maybe like take one out, but
Was there? Did you? What happened?
yeah, he is frozen in that sort of kick motion, like he's like, and his jaw is slightly agape as he looks
You just see it.
upwards.
It looks like he's just full on like posing with the leg up
Yeah,
off in
To
the
see it's
distance.
like that image of that gif of
There
that
was
woman, the blonde woman in jail with like the maths coming over, and it's like fire in the air, and there's things raining down, and he's kicking. And, well, you, good. Look at you. That foot of yours is really doing some work today.
I gotta say, boy, you're really. I mean, you're starting to fall into that adventurer role, like that kind of clutch situation. That's your 2 for 2, boy.
Good job.
2 very good kicks.
yeah. Yeah, I did that.
Did you find anything interesting on the skeletons to see?
No, actually, they all seem to just have like
I'm just
icky,
like
moldy
pushing
armor
down
and
Oster's leg a little as well, like from his like
Well, shall we move forward?
So you are all as a group now, as the confetti of remains of Sturges fall from the sky. You kind of move forward into this area, and you see to your left and to your right there is kind of like a pathways and caverns leaving, tunnels leading off. There's also one ahead of you, and the 2 of you with dark vision can definitely see that at the far, like at the northern tunnel that leads upwards or forward, you see kind of a doorway. And then the tunnels to the left and the right kind of lead off into darkness. And Oster, as you kind of shake off yourself, and Osfire moves forward and kind of pats you on your upper thigh and kind of like, good job, boy, good job. And kind of starts to move forward a bit with the torch leading up. You start to see off in the distance that there's a doorway to the kind of ahead of you, and then two tunnels on either side.
Do we want to go more man-made looking caverns, or do we want to go like natural caverns? I feel like man-made might be like the thing.
yeah.
That's my vote.
Did Gundren give us any notes on when he showed us the map? Had he been this far?
No, it's Gundren was kind of like, even in his kind of recuperation, he wasn't very clear on what was up here.
Okay.
And to see, as you turn around and address the group, you kind of look back at the cavern area where you are, and you see that there's actually a doorway, or sorry, there's a tunnel at the back of the area as well.
Ooh. So we can go, well, we've got 3 ways now.
I think man-made would be better to start with.
I think so
That
too.
suggests there's like more to go through.
To see
How do you give me a perception check, because you're at the back of the area?
could Does the seat think that the way, like the sort of the north area on the map would like meet up with those caverns that they were already in
Give me a
before?
survival check if you want to find out.
I got a 21 on perception.
21. You notice that the tunnel ahead of you, up like forward, is man-made, and the tunnel behind you is man-made.
I got a 5, so no.
Nah, no clue. You're still kind of like brushing off Sturger confetti.
Yeah.
Off your
I
well.
Tell everyone about this.
So
So we have
yeah,
two
Tanya
man-made
relays that like
options.
the area that you're now in, the tunnels behind you that seem to lead off into a kind of a crossroad section. Like so, there's like a tunnel and then there's like a turn left and right. They seem quite dwarven made. I don't like using the term man-made because they could have been female dwarfs. And they could have built them perfectly well too.
They could have been non-binary dwarves. We never know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
Does your manual say anything about this, Oster?
that's a good point.
Oster, like again, slightly kind of. It's not that like it's not guilt. It's more just like, oh, that's
Shock.
what happens when you kick a lamp at things and their skin. Um, uh, um, well, I don't recall if there was a particular thing on exploring, but there was a rather controversial article on looting, and he's kind of going to look at deceit, and it did say, you know, when in ruins and stuff like that, obviously you want to look for what looks the fanciest, and
These skeletons, I don't think. Well, they don't have anything like fashionable, but they might have something valuable if you want
well,
to
no,
have a look.
I was referring to the kind of the architecture,
Oh,
and like the lay of it. So if we follow, you know, the tunnels where we can clearly see that they've been, you know, etched and carved out rather than just the natural cave, then we're probably going to find something that you can steal, acquire.
that's good instincts. We do have two choices of people-made caverns. We
Um,
want to take
Ta-
this one or this one?
Well, we wanted to go north before that jelly thing.
That's
in the way.
true. As
So we
long as you
try
can
north
tell me
first?
which way is north, that would be perfect.
I would
Because-
like to
I don't know.
tune in to my sense of the air.
Tanya, you can give me a survival check if you want.
I think I'm quite good at survival. Oh, that's not good. Oh dear, 6.
6. You're turned around like you're still kind
I
of
am
like
good at it, but I didn't roll well.
yeah. You're kind of going whoa, and as you kind of like trying to get your bearings, it's like yeah, no, there's still the stench of burnt sturges in the air. So, but like again,
Yeah, I kind of turned around at that last
yeah, it's like
one.
you got turned around a wee bit, but you do. I will say, even with a 6, and even with your earlier survival check deceit, and now Oster, as you're kind of like in your weird kind of moment of self-reflection on killing more creatures, you all feel that wave of like,
We should follow that.
as it seems to echo through the
It's
chambers.
probably bad, so we should probably follow it.
I was thinking the same thing.
Because that's probably where Nundro was going.
Probably.
Find weird things.
I guess we'll try and head the direction that's most like prominent.
That
sound.
seems to be kind of like definitely kind of not behind but forward.
Okay, so is that the natural cave?
No, well, both of these general areas, as you look forward, so behind you, so Talia is standing at the back with Oster, and behind Talia there is a tunnel that seems to lead to a kind of a cross-shaped area, and that's non-binary dwarf constructed. And then ahead you see another kind of area that's also a crossroads that has a doorway at the end that seems constructed as well.
Okay. I think maybe we go to the direction of the doorway. I mean, that looks like maybe perhaps it was trying to be kept safe or something like that. Sounds promising.
Sounds good.
As we're like talking about it, Deceit's gonna go up and just check if the door's locked. If there's a door.
Okay. You kind of move forward and you push on the door to check it. It's locked and it's not. And it because the door is itself there's wood and there's wood and stone and metal, and as you push it, it scrapes along the kind of the ground and the flagstone, and it's like
Oh, this is quite loud. We probably shouldn't be making all this noise.
and you kind of as you push the door, it makes that loud grinding sound, and then there's like as you push it in, it like kind of slots in against the wall, and then there's silence as the dust settles. The air seems to kind of rearrange itself around you, and you realize that this hasn't been disturbed in a while, as the kind of the dank air fills your nostrils, and the rest of you kind of come up behind the seat and gather in together in this area. I need all of you to roll a perception check, please.
Stunning. I'm so good at these. Totally not. Oh, actually, this is not bad.
13.
14.
19.
Okay, so sorry, Talia, was that a 14 or 14? Talia in the seat. Apologies, but Talia in the seat. Osfire was the same. Osfire rolled was 3, so you know. Oster is 2, still traumatized. The DC was 14. You hear a slight off in the distance, maybe in the adjacent room.
Do you hear that, Thalia? I don't like it. I think if we're going to approach whatever that is, we'll want to be quiet about it.
Okay. I turn back to her and I'm like, shh, there's something weird. Is it in the room, like, were you saying like the room right in front of this door, or like?
See, that's the thing.
You think somewhere next to it.
You didn't roll high enough, so it's
even with a 19.
no, yeah. So
somewhere around.
As you kind of start to kind of look around to see where it is, and you kind of bring the group in, you all look up and you see that the area that you're in seems to be filled with old stone bunks in orderly rows, and they line the walls of this chamber. And there's a corroded iron brazier full of old coals that stands near the middle of the room. The bones of half a dozen dwarves and orcs lie strewn about, clad in scraps of armor.
Good.
3 grey hunched figures squat amongst the remains, pawing at scrapes and gnawing on the bones.
Why are people so weird here?
And I will apologize because my DMing skills are I forgot to read ahead, and it wasn't the adjacent room. It was this room.
Oh, so we've just fully pushed open that loud ass door into here. Oh,
That's my bad. I apologize for that.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
When I read it the first time, I was like, because we are working off a module here. I read it the first time. I was like, it said this area. I was like, oh no, that's this area. So that's on me.
That's fine.
I will give you all advantage on your next attack roll for that. But you all stop and look up, and you see gathered around this brazier these weird, warped, grey-skinned forms as they gnaw on these bones, sucking desperately at these dry kind of remains, as if trying to eke out every last piece of marrow. And the closest one to you kind of like looks up. It's milky yellow eyes taking you all in. And it drops the bone.
Oh no.
Meat.
Ooh.
And it charges you. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh, girl, I did so badly.
No, we are too juicy.
10.
I'm out of lamps.
Oh, actually, that's not a 10. I'm going to guidance.
3.
Oh, it's 11.
Okay, and I
22
did
again.
say everyone can have advantage on their attack roll from my lack of
Oh.
ability to read. So,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so 25 to 20.
Yep, 22.
22.
Damn.
20 to 15. Okay, Osfar got 16.
Nice.
15 to 10.
11. I burnt my guidance on it.
Okay.
I got three.
I actually have to roll for the ghouls rolled 4.
The ghoulies.
Talia. Okay.
I don't
Oscar,
think
into
Thalia's seen
yourself.
anything like this before. She's not really done underground things previously.
She's not a womble.
So that,
She's overground more than underground.
she's an overground gal.
Yeah.
So she's just like,
So, Oster, into yourself.
So they've charged at us, right?
The first one has.
Okay.
The other two are still kind of like unaware, but the first one saw you. There's only 3 of them, and they're kind of like, this one is now running towards you.
I think, again, it's that Thalia's words from earlier on in that thing of act on instinct. And even though it was Deceit and Thalia kind of leading us through these passages and into this room with Deceit pushing the door open, I think Oster is going to move past both of them. Like, he's going to rush past Deceit and Thalia and kind of stop just to see kind of approach the creature and then do a full, like, on one leg spin and try and boot the creature in the head. In that, like, I'm going to shove it back. It's very much a kick to push back.
You're really channeling Chung Li on this one, aren't you?
Oh, that's
all about the legs.
literally who Oster. I have not punched a single person in this
Have you
campaign. Nope, I only kicked.
It's all kicks.
It's all kicks.
It's all been kicks.
It's all been
How have I
kicks.
not noticed this before?
Don't know. I've not been subtle about it.
every day is leg day for Oster.
Yeah, Declan has even said things like, I grapple them with my thighs, etc.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
he literally grappled someone with his legs last session, like, in Cragmaw Castle. So,
That's not me. I mean,
I'm
just
just very
thought
subtle about it.
Okay. Okay.
That is,
So,
let me just double check. 11 plus 6, 17 to hit.
that definitely hits.
sick.
And then it's a D8. That's 3 plus 4 is 7.
7. Your leg comes up and just catches this ghoul right in the side of the head. It clocks it sideways, and the head just rocks, and it just and it definitely hits it, and you see that its jaw is just slung sideways. It's just hanging off its face. And it's like and it reaches forward with clawed hands towards you. So yeah, no, that hits. That damages it for sure.
Can I use my bonus action to take a second unarmed strike against it?
Yeah.
That's a 22 to hit.
Yeah.
And then that is another 6 bludgeoning damage. And I'd like to use my crusher to push him back the 5 feet then as well.
Okay. So you kind of like, and again, is this all with your legs?
Yeah, it's a spin kick, wait to see what he's doing, and then when he doesn't move, he's going to bounce off of that left leg and just full on donkey kick him and kind of land on his back hand. He's going to land on his hands when he does it.
Nice. Yeah, no, he's like you kind of, the first hit kind of dislocates the jaw, and the second hit and that pushes it back. The jaw just flips through the air, and you just see the jawbone clank onto the floor, and there's a couple of loose teeth fall, and its tongue is just lolling like back and forth as it kind of just falls back. And as it falls back up against the brazier, the other two kind of like and start to rush forward towards the rest of you. It's now into Osfar. Osfar is going to kind of pull back and bring up their mace and kind of holds his action, waiting to kind of see what damage the rest of the group do. It's now into Deceit, and then the ghouls are on deck.
Perfect. I'm going to run up beside Oster. And I'm going to take my rapier and I'm going to like just whip my rapier out and go to jab the one that Oster kicked back right into the face.
Okay.
Did we say we get advantage on this?
You get advantage. You do get advantage on your first attack. I did say
Oh God. Okay, that was an 11 to hit.
with advantage.
Yeah, I got a 2 and a 6.
Unfortunately, that misses.
Okay, that's fine.
Just misses.
For my bonus action, however, though, I'm going to Deceit snaps their fingers, and this like beautiful like cloak of like mist appears around their shoulders, and it kind of drapes down, and them and everybody else, all of you guys in the room, suddenly like seeing this cape just feel inspired and feel you feel like we can do anything. You all get 5 temporary hit points and may move up to your movement right now as a reaction, as not as a reaction, but just right now. And it's without provoking opportunity attacks as well. So I'm going to use that movement to move my movement back to where, like, say, Ozfire is. So I don't provoke an opportunity attack by running up and stabbing it and coming back.
Okay, cool. The ghouls now are going to move forward because I've rolled for them as a group. The one that you've damaged is going to try and move forward, but cannot bite you in any way or can't attack you in any way. That because of that, but it is going to lunge forward with its hands, and you see now. Strike forward with its claws attack, and it's going to swing towards Oster. And that is a 13 to hit.
Does not hit.
Does not hit. As its hand just kind of streaks out, and its weakly flails at you, and it just hits air as you dodge backwards. That's the first ghoul. The other two are going to rush forward, and because one is already engaged with you, Oster, the other two are going to rush past and are going to try and engage with Ozfire and also Talia. Where are you situated in this point? Because obviously, Deceit is with Ozfire. Where are you going to find yourself?
I'll use that movement that we just got to come into the room, I think, to kind of head towards the third ghoul.
Yeah.
Whichever one is not engaged, basically.
So you're going to meet the ghoul as it moves forward?
Nice.
Yeah.
So the first one is going to move towards Deceit and Ozfire, and then the second one is going to move towards you. So the first one is going to take a bite attack at Deceit. That is a 12 to hit.
Misses.
Second one is going to take a bite attack at Talia, and that is an 18 to hit. That does hit, and that is 2. So that is 7 points of damage, piercing damage into yourself as the bite. You kind of move forward, raise your arm up, and the bite's like, and it just tears into your arm and just pierces your flesh, and you just feel the pain strike through your arm and through the tendons because you're quite muscular, and blood gushes out. It's like a dog bit onto it, like it's kind of swinging in the air. That is the end of Ghoul's attack. Talia, it's into yourself, and Oster, you're on deck.
He's
Talia and then Oster.
I'm very angry. So I should like to rage.
I'm very angry.
I'm very
Because
angry.
it bit me.
That's the cutest way to say.
How rude.
I'm very angry.
Angry. My magical surge this time. Oh, it's the little fart spirit again. An intangible spirit, like a flump or a pixie. Flump, obviously. 5 feet. I'll pop it next to this ghoul. At the end of the current turn, it explodes. Each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a dex save. So I'll pop it, if I can, pop it between two. Can I get it between two of the ghouls?
In here, so the room is only 15 feet wide. So it's only a 15 feet wide room. So if you pop that here, you'll probably catch all of the ghouls, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but ideally, obviously, more towards the far side so that it doesn't hit us in that 5 feet.
Because it's not creatures you choose, is it? It's just all the creatures around the.
No, it's just in that area. Yeah.
Stun.
Okay, so that will go off at the end. I'm raging, and then I'm going to do a little attack with my great axe. Let's see. Oh dear, that's not great. 12 to hit.
Did you use your advantage?
12.
Oh no.
12 just hits.
Oh.
That's good because I got 12. I got the exact same again.
Wow. So 12 just hits. 12 is the AC.
12 does hit. Great. Okay.
Damn, I missed like one. That's so upsetting.
Yeah. Oh, I did say it just misses. So
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
How much? I get +2. Nice. So that is, sorry, maths. 12 plus 2, 14 slashing damage, I think.
So-
yeah, slashing damage.
as the ghoul is like kind of like biting down on your arm, you strike down on it and catch it across the clavicle, and it kind of you feel the axe snap in, and you just pull it back, and it cleaves off its right arm as the arm just like flops to the ground, and it takes a severe amount of damage, and it kind of lolls to one side, still gripping onto your arm, as you kind of pull yourself back, and it's like. As blood, kind of like dark ichorous blood, starts to spurt out from the wound. That's that. Yeah,
I'll stay locked in with this one, and then it's the end of my turn. So then the flump explodes.
Yeah.
For.
is there a save on that or anything?
Oh yeah, sorry, a dexterity saving throw, which will be.
I guarantee you they've just failed it because I rolled a 2. And they have a +2.
Yeah,
so
I think mine's like 14 or something.
Yeah.
But only for 2 force damage to any who are in that 5 foot.
so okay. So what was your? Sorry, jog my memory here. What was your attack damage on that?
14
14.
to the ghoul.
Okay, so
And then the flump has exploded for 2 force damage.
2 force damage. The ghoul that's engaged with Oster, the flump just against them in a giant massive fart noise as it kind of impacts itself against the back of the ghoul that's engaged with Oster. And Oster, you just see from your perspective, you just see it like kind of just disintegrate into itself, and you just get covered in ichor and goo as the ghoul just explodes upon you due to the fart impact. And the other one takes severe damage. The one that's still latched onto you, its head is still intact, but the rest of its body is kind of falling away. Like the lower part of its body is just kind of the remnants of a skeleton, while the upper part is like a rib cage, a bit of goo, and some intestines hanging out, but the head is just hanging on, still fully intact, and it is heavily damaged, leaving just one fully intact ghoul that is aiming in at Deceit, which I forgot to fucking roll for to attack against you. Or did I? No, I missed.
No, you
It
did.
missed.
You did.
I did.
You got a 12 and my AC's 14.
It missed correctly. Yes, so it missed. Sorry, I just didn't mark it down.
That's
Okay,
okay.
so Oster, it's into yourself.
I think seeing that Dahlia has one on, chomping on her arm like a wristwatch, that's going to be fine. Like Talia can deal with that in a way that only Talia can deal with these kinds of things. He's going to go for the one that's kind of standing and coming for Deceit, and he's going to again, it's going to be kind of a kick to, like, he's literally going to try and sweep the leg from it on his first one. So if I can roll for that before I do anything else, because I'm going to do a thingy. 6. That is a 24 to hit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And it has to make a... can it make a dex save for me, please?
Okay.
I'm using my open
That
hand
is
technique.
an 11.
My DC is an 11, so you meet it.
If it meets it, it beats it. Yeah.
Okay. That's actually to be on my full transparency. This is a flurry of blows technique, which I've not done yet. So that was just my normal attack. So get that good roll out of the way. Damage on that then is 8. That's 12 damage on the first hit, the first kick, where I literally try to take its leg out.
So clarify for me, which ghoul is this again you're going against?
This is the one going for Deceit.
See, so that hasn't been damaged yet at all.
Okay.
So how much damage is into that? 11?
12 blood.
12.
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of sweep out, and it's just like, it's full on, just full on kicks, flurries of kicks into it, as you get forms of it, like chunks of this flesh hewn off the body, and you could just expose the rib cage as the leg kicks out and starts beating against its rotten form. And the seat in front of you, you just watch as this leg just blur. It's just a blur of motion. But the stench of this decrepit body being desiccated in front of you fills your nostrils. And you're like,
Does he just
it's
pulls out
not
like
good.
a bag of potpourri and it's just like,
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
oh no! I'm so good at these. Oh, actually, that was really good. It's probably +0 because I'm a squishy baby. It's 18.
18. Oh, you managed to hold in your lunch.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, that's a good roll. And you're like, and it's foul, but you're okay. As Oster goes to town on this thing. Okay, Oster.
Is it still standing? Yeah, it's still like
It is
functioning.
just still standing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to spend a key point to do Flurry of Blows, which is 2 more attacks.
Go for it.
That is 25 to hit and a 23 to hit.
I think at minimum damage, you probably kill it.
Yeah.
That is 17 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, it's just a wind at this point, as you see this kind of decrepit grey corpse just be decimated with continuous impact as Oster goes to town. Oster, describe how you take this thing down.
The first one was to try and sweep the leg, like to knock it prone.
Yeah.
When that doesn't work, it's a case of the leg goes up around his neck, and he's now kind of like done a full kind of split in the air. Leg wraps around, he twists to kind of throw it, and as the thing falls, he brings his heel down on top of its head to crush it. So it's a reverse heel.
Nice. And that is it. It's gone. And apologies, I missed the prone part of that one, so that's on me. But you see this thing get completely destroyed as the heel comes down and the head caves in, and grey matter is just splattered across the floor, and it's gone within 2 quick succession hits. This thing is finished, leaving just the one that's clinging on to Talia's arm. And that one creature that's kind of like slowly but surely moving towards Oster. That is the end of Oster's go. It's now into Ozfire. And Ozfire, in true to form, is like, nobody needs healing, so I'm going to contain myself. I'm going to allow straight on to the seat to do what the seat needs to do.
Perfect. I'm going to run to the one that... I'm going to run over to Thalia, and I'm going to, like, get in a position where I'm flanking. Like, I'm between... Like, is flanking where, like, you're kind of pincering, like, where...
Yeah, as long as you're within 5 feet adjacent, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and flank this thing because it's right beside it, like right beside her, and I'm gonna just like try to stab it with my rapier.
Cool. Roll and attack.
Perfect. And flanking's at advantage,
There you
right? Isn't that the purpose of flanking someone?
There is an optional rule. I'll allow it. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Either way, I don't mind. I could roll regularly.
Yeah. I mean, this thing is on death's door, so fuck it. Go for
it. 22 to hit.
Yeah.
And that is where's my nice D8? Where are you? There you are.
I'm like holding my arm out with its head still attached, like fighting. Like,
sake.
here you go, quick, get it off.
Now at this point.
Yeah,
it's full on. Like
it's 4 points.
Like it's just your body is falling apart, and 4 force damage.
Just 4. It was 4 damage from me anyway. 4 from my rapier.
Okay, so as you kind of like go in with the rapier and kind of like start to carve it up. Literally, that's all that's left of it. That's chomping away on Talia's arm is just the head, and it's like like the rest of the body just falls away as you carve it apart, but the head is still going for it because it has 4 hit points left.
I rolled minimum on my dice and everything. Like I rolled a 1.
Oh.
I'm
barely alive. It's literally just the head.
Like I'm terrible at like melee attacking as Deceit for some
So
reason.
Talia's just like
get it off.
Yeah, I'll pass. I think it's Thalia then.
That's the end of Deceit go, and that's into the ghouls. So the head is going to take another bite attack at Talia.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's a natural 20.
I'll use one of the
Oh,
disadvantages that were imposed on you.
Not. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Good thing
Okay,
you're
that's
remembering.
less. That's a lot less. Although I have rolled more than 2 rolls, but I have not been taking the disadvantages, so I will take it
yeah.
now. So you're right. Thank you for reminding me. I completely.
I was so close to burning a silvery
Um,
burst.
yeah, no, that is like
Well,
13 to hit.
no, it doesn't hit. My AC is 14.
Okay,
Ooh.
okay. So that is just like it's just gumming your
Oh,
arm at this.
Yeah,
Um,
can't
somehow
get the
worse.
leverage.
Probably
okay,
just go up to a
so
wall and just smash it.
Oster, this jawless kind of like tonguey creature starts to move towards you, just shambling, like barely holding itself together. And I'll roll this disadvantage as well. 12 to hit, Oster.
No, 12 doesn't hit.
Oh. As it kind of stumbles forward, it trips itself, and it's like its flailing clawed arms. It's kind of like a. Oh. That's the end of the ghouls go. It's now into sorry, Italia.
Um, like flavor wise, I'm like trying to like throw it off my arm to be like whoosh, with my axe. So I'm going to try and
Yeah,
attack with my axe. Obviously, I'm
nice. I
still
like it.
raging.
Can't on the volley.
That is lots. That will hit 20 something.
Yeah,
24, I think. Yeah.
that's double its AC.
So that is right. I actually have my calculator now. I did like math. Plus 2, 17.
Okay, so how do you take it down?
So it's like a batter throwing up a ball. I throw up the head off my arm, and then I'm like,
Yeah, it just cleaves straight through it, and it's just straight across the center, as the
Beautiful.
bottom part of the head just like oh, and you just see surprise in the ghoul's eyes, and it's just like how? It's like how am I dead? How? It's
Again?
And
the
then
shock.
as a bonus action, I do a little toot, and I summon my flumph because I can do it every turn. As a bonus action, and I summon it over by the other ghoul, so that it's going to catch that in the 5-foot blast, and it's the
Nice.
end of my turn. So, a dex saving throw,
Dex save.
Okay.
Damn.
which
That's cool that you can do
I
that
think
every
it's a
turn. That's
DC
great.
14.
Yeah, I rolled a 2,
Nice.
so that's
It explodes for 5 force damage.
yeah, that's enough. As the creature's shambling towards Oster, like the implosion or the explosion, kind of catches it from the side like that, as it just blows it sideways, and it just the kind of the rib cage
Just for
shatters in the head like oh, and it's just all dead. And Tally's just left standing there going, with the bite mark on her arm, and kind of like blood seeping from her fur. As you are kind of now standing in this small, cramped room, remnants of ghouls around you, and then off in the distance, you just hear this kind of like, "You goddamn mushroom motherfuckers are gonna let me out of this cave," and that's where we're gonna end this session of Random DMs.
frantically taking this.
Mushroom people.
Because I feel like it's now it's now getting on to the fair like 3-hour session of the episode, and there's way more than the next DM can do with in these echo caves. And I feel I'm gonna hog all of the horror here, so it's just in my nature to do that. So you gotta hand it over to somebody else.
Okay. We'll okay. So before we do any of the wrap up stuff, we will roll for the next session's DM. Wayne is 1, Philippa 2, Dahi 3, and I'll be 4. Is that everyone's good with that?
Perfect.
And where is so the dice are there? 4d6. No, just 1d4. It's Wayne again.
You're
Hey,
kidding me.
perfect.
Yeah.
That can't be a thing.
Oh, it didn't. Oh, it didn't show up on screen, did it?
Did it? It did.
I can't see it on mine.
It's on. I have the stream here, and it's there.
Yeah, I see it too.
Okay. See, I
I just
don't.
can't. It's just really
have-
small. Yeah, it's
Oh,
on
there's a
open.
little tiny dot.
No, I see
Oh,
it. I
that
see it as
says
a one.
one. It's probably to
It's
do
a
with some of the
baby
settings that I've used. Wait, I could see it when I rolled it, and oh, there it is. I can see it now. I don't know why I couldn't
That's
see it in
so
the first
funny.
place. I will
Wayne's delighted.
screenshot it as evidence.
Perfect.
So yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for you, Wayne, but you are still in the hot seat. You're seeing us through the next part of the Wave Echo.
More horror.
More horror, yeah. By way of burning.
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Love,
that's good.
love.
Is that yeah?
Honestly,
Okay.
yeah,
Is everyone
like
else okay with that?
Well,
100%.
that's what
Because
that's what
I
you
think
rolled.
because I know the last
The
time
dice has
we did it,
spoken.
we did it so that like we'd re-roll on the number for the person, but I feel like that's up to the DM and whether because I think Declan, you were like, I don't want to do the next one, so can we put a
Yes.
re-roll on it or something?
Yes, actually.
So like I feel like it's up to the DM who's in the hot seat to be like, can the 4 be
Yeah.
me or can the 1 be me or whatever?
Yes.
Because
I look. I'm sorry, but like, you all know me, and my wheelhouse is horror. If I'm going to
Yeah.
keep the gore and the thing going, and you're happy to do that, I'm happy to do it as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
as long
Oh.
as you're up for being in the role, you're in the role, and it's
Okay.
one is
Okay.
Wayne.
Scare us
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
are-
more.
Wayne Town.
You are right, Di. Yeah, that was the thing that was it. If your number came up, you got to decide whether you passed it or you
Yeah,
stayed in it.
because
So, yeah.
Because I remember Declan, you were kind of like, I don't want the next one. I
Yeah.
would like to pass it on. So double
Okay.
it and give it to the next person. But
I'm
Wayne is
also glad
doubling it and
that
giving it to himself.
Wayne is going to stay because we do have a couple of recording sessions and we have D8 Dungeon Drive to organise. So I'm like, yes.
Well, look, as long as the viewers are happy and you're happy, and that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
let's do it.
100%.
I'm excited.
So just to
Double dipping. You're right, Ben.
yes,
dipping.
exactly.
Yeah. Good job, Ben.
Just very, very quickly, where you can find everybody on the socials. The hellscape that is the Bluebird website. Everyone's handles are there for the time being. And we've
As soon as I get my Blue Sky invites, I'll send you all an invite. I promise.
I was
Please.
just gonna. I need to actually put my Blue Sky up on. I need to like make it known because I'm on the Blue Sky.
Oh.
Are you?
Mhm.
Yeah, a friend of mine got a code and they were just like, I think I just met them when they got the code and they were like, I'm gonna give this code to you, and I was like, thank you.
First impressions
I'm
are
back on
important.
Yeah.
Reliving
What?
my teenage years on Tumblr again. It's great.
Oh, love, love, love. I do love that everybody's fleeing. Like,
I'll still be on
Uh,
there until it shuts down, but yeah.
Same.
I'm on it to
Yeah.
watch the drama of it fall apart. To be honest.
It's the nature of the world nowadays. We just like to see the dumpster fire.
Yes. Everyone loves
Car
a good
crash
dumpster
television.
fire. And on that note, we are D8 Dungeon, another dumpster fire. But we are producers of some fun little shows. Romancing the Dungeon, which is our fortnightly podcast. That the next episode is out on the 13th, Friday the 13th? No, Friday the 14th. Friday the 14th of July.
Next Friday, yeah.
Yeah, next Friday. We also produce another stream aside from Random DMs called Rise of the Forsaken, but that is on that was on hiatus and will now be going through a big reset because we're not done with that world and we didn't really get to fully go into it. So it will be returning in some shape or form very, very soon. I already mentioned, and we've kind of spoke about it throughout the stream a little bit, but at the end of this month, we are hosting our annual TTRPG fundraiser, and we have some incredible game masters and dungeon masters from all over the world. A handful of them are here with us right now, just humbly boasting. So over the weekend of the 28th, 29th, and 30th of July, we are aiming to raise $2,000 with the hope to smash that goal and raise $5,000 for Trans Lifeline, an organization that works to support the trans community outreach and support through their hotline and other services. So if you're around that weekend, come join us for 2.5 days jam-packed full of tabletop role-playing games, and help us raise awareness and raise funds if possible. Yes, if we get $5,000, thank you, Juliana, in the chat. If we get $5,000, both Amber and I are getting new tattoos just above our heinies. So just like to, thanks. Yeah, thanks. And you get to decide the tattoo. That's the other part of it. If you donate, you get to decide. We're asking all of the DMs and the GMs to try and incorporate maybe a donation into their game. We're not all running D&D, so if it's possible to finagle support for the players, again, gets us one step closer to helping that charity and that organization, and then also having Amber and I permanently emblazoned with whatever god-awful tattoo you choose.
Regardless, the end goal is always going to be transformative in some way. Beautiful.
Yes. And there's tons of prizes to be given out over the entire weekend as well. We've had some amazing folks reach out to get behind the event. We've way more, like every year there's more and more stuff to add, that like we're like, okay, I think we have to bundle this stuff up. We don't have enough games to give everything away, and so, and there's no fee to enter any of those. Those are all given to us for free by creators in the TTRPG sphere who want to support the cause. And all you have to do to win any of those prizes is just show up and watch and engage. And if you're not even in a position to donate, maybe you could share. Maybe you could tell people about the stream and check out the channel as we're playing games. That's it from us for this week. We are back for the second part of Random DMs, the Lost Mines of Phandelver. I will finish with thanking Wayne, our Dungeon Master, for our session this evening, and joining us as well, Philippa and Dahi. We are looking for new blood to join us in the next series of Random DMs. So if you're out there and you think you would like to join the chaos and the madness as a player and a possible DM if the dice wills it, then do reach out. You can contact us on d8dungeon@gmail.com, or you can find us on social media at d8dungeon. And if you think you can spare 2 Thursdays of a month and you want to join some of this madness, you know where to reach out
more
to.
people so we can roll bigger dice.
Yes. Oh, could you imagine if there was enough people that were like, even the cast changed depending on dice rolls as well? That's another aspect.
That would be
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
So if you're out there and you think you want to get involved, just give us a shout. Until the 13th of July, we will have a good weekend, and we will see you next time.